Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody. I am so honored to be here. I am honored to be your partner, Doug, Alfredo, everybody from POTUS Weil, everybody from WX, my family, my friends. This is just a little verklempt. I think I don't need my glasses, so that's one thing. I think I'm going to start by telling a story, and that reflects a little bit of me and a little bit of what it entails in getting the job done, as David kind of alluded to some of the antics in my past. But this is one that I think some of you have heard before, but let me just proceed. It's March 21st, 1989, and I wake up in labor pains. My second child, my son Gear, is about to be born, and I know from experience that these pains are for real. I call the doctor's office to report that I'm in labor, and the nurse says, "Congratulations." And I said, "Congratulations for what? For being in labor?" They said, "No, you're an aunt." Now, I knew my sister Molly and I were due about the same time. We both went to our father's OBGYN practice in New Jersey, and his partner was going to deliver us both in the same hospital, but on the same day. This was too much. Instead of asking the nurse if my sister was okay, if she had another girl, I said, "Does she have a roommate?" The idea of sharing this experience with my sister was too good to miss. The nurse didn't know, but promised to look into it, and strongly advised me to get to the hospital when she heard how far apart my contractions were. We got in the car and raced across the George Washington Bridge from Manhattan as best we could in rush hour traffic and made it to Englewood Hospital. We checked into labor and delivery, and then I announced that I needed to go to the maternity ward. The nurse calmly explained to me that the maternity ward is where you go after you have the baby. Right? No, I knew that, but I just wanted to make sure that I could get the other bed in my sister's room. And then I needed to call the office. So this was before cell phones, and I had one more thing to get done before going on maternity leave. I was a banker at Bankers Trust at this point, and we were in the final stages of closing a $40 million deal. $40 million loan. Debbie, you remember this, at an office building in Westchester. The last remaining issue was the negotiation of an environmental indemnification. These are pretty straightforward nowadays, but it was a relatively new concept back then, and it wasn't a fun item to negotiate. The issue had been open for a while, and the borrower had seen me the week before and knew I was about to go on maternity leave. And I think he was trying to take advantage of this fact to sort of let the issue slide through the cracks. So I called the office and checked in with Al, who worked for me at the time, and sure enough, the borrower had called back while I was gone. So I said to Al, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to call him back together right now and get this sorted out, and I need you to do me a favor. I need you to time my contractions." Every time I say your name, please note the time. Al got a little jiggy, but what could he say? And I continued, "We've got to do this fast because they're speeding up." True story, true story. The bar was shocked that I was on the phone. We came to agreement on the language. I plunked my stuff down on the bed next to Molly. I gave her a big hug and went to deliver a gorgeous 8-pound baby boy named Gear. As a postscript, the cousin twins, as they are known to this day, are as thick as thieves. Grit or girl power, maybe a little. No, probably a healthy dosage of both, but that's what it takes. And speaking of a lot, what a turnout. This really is, I am really touched, and it's also, I think, a very good example of what women can do, the lengths we'll go when we put our efforts to the task at hand. I don't mind telling you that I was a little bit intimidated by the move to the Pierre. While we could not have asked for a more elegant venue, I was seriously concerned about not filling the room. Having increased capacity by more than 50% from where we were last year. But this is a great example of what we call in the real estate industry the value proposition. Give a woman a job to do, and she will corral resources. So a special shout out to the great job that Hodis Weil did. Thank you. And she will exceed expectations. And to be clear, she is not me. She is the WX organization. By honoring me, you are honoring this great community of WX women, active in all aspects of the real estate industry, helping women achieve their full potential in all phases of their career. Having been active in the leadership of WX for the past 10 years, I'm extremely gratified by the success of this evening. We've raised over $550,000. That will be used for funding scholarships for women pursuing careers in real estate and programming, including mentoring these terrific young women. As Paula mentioned, this is the 10th anniversary of the scholarship program, and we've provided 160 scholarships to women, plus another 10 or so grants for different programs in the city in our last decade. And with your support, WX will be contributing dozens and dozens more. I am intimately familiar with the effort that goes into making an evening such as this, recognizing the countless hours, the coordination, the outreach effort made by the dinner committee, the WX board, and of course, the broad-based support from the WX membership. I want to give special thanks to Cheryl Boyer. Where are you, Cheryl? She was the WX immediate past president, but she volunteered to come back to be the dinner chair, so that's above and beyond. So thank you, Cheryl. As well as Paula Schaefer, our current president, who you met earlier. And the Berman Group, which does an unbelievable job organizing the event. And the gajillion emails can now slow down. Both ways, by the way. I also want to thank some of the new sponsors, specifically PCCP for their support, as well as Lionstone, Trinity, and so many more. And we hope that you'll make this event every year, because we really appreciate your support, and it's a terrific opportunity. All of this has less to do with me, but truly reflects the acknowledgement that WX serves a vital role in the real estate industry. And that is the recognition we are celebrating tonight. So let's shine a light on WX and the sisterhood that it represents. Clearly, we have come a long way. However, we need to address a challenge we still face and want to share how WX is positioned to be an integral part of the solution. Despite all the advances women have made in the industry, the number of women in leadership positions is still far too low, denying the industry our critical input and perspective. Yes, significant advances have been made. There are more women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies than ever before, and we have a woman leading the Federal Reserve. And we may have a woman in the White House one of these days. Okay. In our industry, I see more women in leadership positions, including many WX members, on panels describing deals, strategies, and structures, and not just talking about their careers and work-life balance issues. In fact, most of these talented women would prefer to have their accomplishments highlighted rather than their gender. As an example, our firm is working with a large real estate manager on the recapitalization of a multifamily operating platform, and the leadership team is virtually all women. The management team is extremely well regarded. The company scores well in terms of all performance metrics, and they have won all kinds of ESG awards for sustainability initiatives and community service. But they don't even mention the fact that 4 of the top 5 positions are held by women. To me, that's progress. It is. But here's the deal. They are unfortunately the exception to the rule. The number of women in leadership positions in the real estate industry remains consistently low. The benefits to an organization that elevate women to the C-suite to make decisions which shape the direction of a firm are well recognized. We tend to be good listeners, team players, collaborative, and deliberative. We are good at reading nonverbal cues and communicate effectively. Our insights and instincts enable us to see issues through a different lens, contributing to a more diverse and constructive decision-making process. Studies have shown that the stronger organizations are more receptive and inclusive. For them, diversity is more than a mantra, it's a mission. So what's the obstacle here? As we all know, a major issue many women have to confront is the maternal wall. Women's prime career-building years coincide with their childbearing years, and integrating both is a perpetual challenge. This is something I should be an expert at. As David mentioned, I have 3 children, ages 28, 25, and 12. Yes, I'm still in it. And I've been doing this juggling act since 1986. 10 of those years, I was a single mom, and as the primary breadwinner, could not afford to be on the mommy track, as it was called. I also didn't have the luxury of feeling guilty either that I wasn't home. And while it's still difficult and messy at times, you have to accept that there are factors beyond your control. Here's another personal example, actually relating to the same pregnancy. Clearly, it was a pivotal time in my life. It's 1988, and I'm about 5 months pregnant with Gear and trying to hide my pregnancy as I was in line for a promotion. That Laura Ashley Empire dress I wore was a little too revealing, and the gig was up. I was convinced that I would no longer be considered for the promotion. Ed Marin, my boss at the time, gave me the most encouraging words. He didn't worry about me or my commitment to the team. He worried more about men and women who sacrificed family for career. And I think Debbie Harmon might have had something to do with that too. So thank you, Debbie. Recently, there have been a number of prominent voices, including Sheryl Sandberg, encouraging women to lean in, or Anne-Marie Slaughter, who has words of caution about having it all. And then there's Barnard President's Deborah Spar's book about the pressure on women and their quest for perfection. Now allow a 30-year veteran in this industry to add her perspective as well. The decision to work in the home is a very personal decision and based on a number of factors. My concern is that while making the decision, do women have the benefit of 2 essential inputs? Did they have enough role models? And are they aware of flexible alternatives? Do they see enough women ahead of them navigating the obstacles successfully and continuing to be rewarded with challenging opportunities? Or better yet, did they see a senior woman dealing with a messy childcare situation and live to tell the tale and even laugh about it? We need young women to see more flexible paths of how to make it work. Ways of slowing down for a while, but staying on track for a long-term promotion, or getting their work done on self-regulated time and or at home instead of on a fixed schedule. Or the shortened work week. Studies have found that predictable time off every week leads team members to work more collaboratively. Could we devise a solution that is appropriate for their role at the firm? This is a challenge I make to the employers in the room. How can we encourage women to do their best work while raising families? One of the things that holds women back is self-doubt. If you've done the work and know your stuff, have the confidence to know that you deserve a seat at the table. Here's a secret that I'm sharing directly with the young female talent in the room. Develop a reputation for being consistently prepared, responsive, respectful, and principled. It will position you as an invaluable resource in your firm. The myth of having it to constantly prove yourself is alive and persists if we allow it to. Everything is not a test. Inherent confidence comes from gaining an experience in your craft and genuinely enjoying what you do. Armed with this confidence, I encourage you to take more risks. The risks that lead to better experiences. Speak up, share perspectives, ask for more challenging positions. And yes, when you believe you deserve it, ask for a raise. I don't know what Satya Nadella was thinking. Don't miss opportunities to be on important decision-making committees. Don't settle for lunch with a senior executive who is checking the box that they've done their part for diversity. Once you've accrued your political capital, you have a reserve to draw upon when you need flexibility, when your child is sick, when you've been up all night. Advocate for yourself. To the young people in the room, it is never too early to start positioning yourself for leadership roles. An early willingness to step forward and stand out as a leader lays the groundwork for future valuable opportunities. One way to take advantages of opportunities is to establish a credible support system, and this is where we come back to the invaluable role that WX plays. The group of women in leadership positions across all aspects of the real estate industry is a great resource for education, empowerment, collaboration, and commiseration. We share personal experiences of success and failure. We share strategies and ideas to navigate the complex workplace issues we face daily. We also provide practical advice on negotiating skills, presentation skills, and how-tos, like how to get on a board. The challenges for young women starting their careers is to work creatively with the employers to focus their collective efforts to engineer appropriate solutions. This is a challenge for young men as well, as more men take on increased co-parenting roles. A recent New York Times article made this point, saying the workplace culture has to change so more men are comfortable taking parenting leave. Yes, we need to involve men. In fact, there are several men who have made an enormous difference in my life and in my career, starting with my dad, who's here tonight. My father taught me, thank you. My father taught me the value of hard work, responsibility, and taking risks. Despite the terrible tragedy of losing his wife, our mother, at a very young age, with 7 children, aged 13 to 2, he became a leader in the medical community in northern New Jersey and is the rock that our family relies on. I can't thank him enough for my education and the example he sets in giving back every day. I'd also like to take advantage of this opportunity to acknowledge several former bosses of mine who taught me the business and believed in me and provided me with opportunities throughout my career. I mentioned Ed Marin earlier, who in addition to being a caring manager, taught me the basics of real estate underwriting. I also had the good fortune of working for Dick Gunthal, as many of you had in this room. Dick is legendary in the real estate banking world for having survived and successfully navigated 2 decades as global head of real estate, first at Bankers Trust and then at Deutsche Bank. There is no one better to teach real estate underwriting or how to structure a deal. Dick breathed new life into my career when I made the switch from investment banking to investment management. I didn't have a Rolodex of pension fund relationships, but I knew how to underwrite real estate and had the confidence to take the risk. Thank you, Dick, for giving me that opportunity. And Paul Tarofsky, an old friend and currently Dick's partner at True North. I know you were the birdie in the background, singing my praises back in those days, and for that I am grateful. Steve Steppe, where are you? Steve, I'm honored that Steve, firm co-head of Stockbridge, is here tonight all the way from San Francisco. Steve gave me my break in client relations and fought to have me become a partner at Reef, the first lateral hire to become partner. As a son of a working mother and with a high-profile wife, Sarah Steppe, who has also been very active in our industry, Steve is a huge advocate of women in real estate. Steve also said my golf handicap would come down when I started in client relations. As Steve knows, I'm still waiting for that to happen. Steve, thank you. Turning to my current partners, David and Doug, I can't thank you enough for your support, and not just for this evening, but for allowing me to take the risk to become your partner. It has been an incredible journey that continues to challenge me daily. And Alfredo Lobo, our partner in Hong Kong, thank you for making the journey here tonight. A constant source of calm wisdom, the dimension you have added to our business has been invaluable. There's one common denominator among all these men, my dad, David, Doug, Alfredo, Dick, Steve, Paul. They all have daughters. They get it. In addition, I am blessed with dear family and friends who've been by my side throughout the journey. There's a table of my dearest friends Such an honor to have you all here. We have been through each other's ups and downs, comforted each other through wine-induced tear jags, but more importantly, there have been many more episodes of raucous laughter. I am blessed to have my siblings here, my brother Cooper and my 5 sisters, Molly, Jane Bird, Maury, Amy, and Sarah, who are all here tonight. You have been my role models, my guides, my strength, my support, my blessing. Thank you all for being here. My kids, first Jackie and Gear, who had to put up with a single mom, survived 2 major home renovations while living in the house, countless nannies, a few embarrassing boyfriends. Caring, creative, and complex, you both have made me incredibly proud, and I treasure you. And Luke, you challenge me daily to be a better mom. I certainly don't have it figured out yet, but I love you dearly, and I will keep trying. And finally, my wonderful husband, Scott, my love, I can't and don't thank you enough for all you do to hold it together, make me laugh, and keep me grounded. Thank you, please. So I'm really not advising that success means you have to close a deal by being wheeled into labor and delivery. Armed with your ample skills and confidence, take risks and earn a seat at the table of your choice. Take advantage of the network that this room offers. Recognize that you are blessed with stress. Generally, if you've had a bad day at the office, take solace in the cheery faces greeting you when you arrive home at night. Draw strength from the different dimensions of your rich life so you can be affirmed daily as both a caring person and as an accomplished professional. Thank you. Thank you.